Mr. Morris, you say you are 100% certain that you are the biological father of the 29-year-old woman standing across the aisle and want this court to put an end to years of confusion, lies, and doubt. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Brister, you say you don't believe Mr. Morris is your father and that you've been lied to by your mother, Miss Smith, regarding who is your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, you are here to support Mr. Morris's claim that he is your daughter's biological father, and you pray today's results will heal old wounds. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Morris, I want to start with you. What makes you so certain that Mrs. Brister is indeed your biological daughter?
Well, ma'am, I just feel 100% in my heart that she is my child.
Take me back. I want to understand the nature, how this relationship began. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend? What was Mr. Morris? Explain to the court.
I met Mrs. Smith in 1984. At the time, I was involved with a breakdancing crew. When I met Mrs. Smith, this one evening as we were performing, I knew right then I wanted to be with her. One thing led to another, and I pulled her, and me and Mrs. Smith, we did get together.
Okay, did you dance on over there? What'd you do?
Well, actually, it didn't happen until the following evening because I had to get my cousin out of the way because by me being shy.
Three was company then?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Understood.
ma'am. So,
all right, so you all started a relationship?
yes, ma'am.
How long did the relationship last?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yes.
Was it a committed relationship?
Well, ma'am, I thought it was in the beginning. Yes, it was. It was. It's just I had to go through a lot of turmoil in order to be with her because she was a queen.
Because she
was a queen.
Okay.
And there was a lot of different guys at her. And so, it was fight after fight with different people in the town that I didn't know nothing about. And
so was she with a lot of other people or just she had a lot of suitors?
a lot of suitors, I would say. Because at the time I was with her, it was just me and her.
So, Ms. Smith, what do you recall about this relationship?
We had a good relationship. Different guys wanted to be with me, but I wanted to be with him.
And so what is the status of your relationship right now?
Well, we're back together.
You are?
Yes.
Yes.
We're a couple.
After how many years?
14 years to be precise.
14 years?
Yes.
And now you're back together?
Yes.
But there's still this paternity issue hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Why? You say you were only with her. She said she was only with you.
I came back to town after hearing it from 3 different individuals that she was pregnant with my child at the time, and we stayed in 2 different towns. So when I heard it more than twice, I would say, I left where I was to go to her town to talk to Mrs. Smith to try to get this resolved because...
Was she pregnant at this time or had the baby been born?
No, Legina was already born. But at the time when I talked to her, the 2 days I was in town to see Mrs. Smith, we had an issue and she told me to my face that no, none of her children were mine. So I left.
I've always known the man on my birth certificate to be my father. When I was about 16, Mr. Morris, he came to visit and he introduced himself as my dad. I don't remember the entire conversation that we had, but I do remember him saying that he was my dad. He came, he was there for maybe like a week or so, then he left.
So he comes into town, he says, I'm your father. He stays a week, and then he leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Your Honor. My mother, she didn't really speak of him after that, and it went back.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I was in town for almost 6 months.
But were you a father to her?
Yes, I was active in her life at that time, but she didn't live with us.
And the last point on your board, your exhibit.
Yes, like I was saying, it went back to normal for me that the man who's on my birth certificate was my father. And a couple of months ago, my mom, she told me that Mr. Woods, a guy who's deceased, that he could possibly be my father.
So let me understand this. The bottom line is, as a young woman, you've been told different stories.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
so you have one man on your birth certificate.
Yes, Your
Next
Honor.
thing you know, it changes to Mr. Morris comes to visit and he introduces himself to you as I'm your dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now you're saying, okay, what's going on here? Then 1 week later, Mr. Morris leaves. This is in your mind.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then your mom says to you, no, the other man is your father.
Yes, Your Honor. That's how I remember.
And then in 2015, your mother tells you that a deceased man, Mr. Woods, could be your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, talk about the various stories your mother told you. Is there anything you'd like to say to your mother about how these stories have affected you and how this lack of clarity has affected you?
It's just confusing. I mean, I want to know, you know, for me and for my children, just for things that, you know, he couldn't be a part of in my life, you know.
And I apologize for leading you on like I did. I really do apologize. And I am sorry. I'm very sorry that I hurt you. Because I wasn't trying to. I was not trying to. I was trying to protect you. I apologize.
But if you had taken a DNA test and you knew that there had been a test, did you ever get the answer or did you just not want to know the answer?
I never got the answer until he told me the answer. I haven't seen it because his family won't present the paper.
But you've never seen the paperwork. No. You've never seen the results in person.
No.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Morris.
Yes, Sean.
You are not her father.
What?
I'm very sorry.
Can I hug my daughter?
Absolutely. Is that okay?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You can stand with your daughter, ma'am. Miss Brister,
Yes,
are you okay?
I am. I'm glad to know, you know, it's one step closer.
Yes.
So,
I'm very proud of you in this moment. It wasn't the answer and the closure you wanted, but at least we know now. Ms. Smith, I have to ask you, do you know who your daughter's biological father is, if it is not Mr. Morris?
I believe it's the deceased.
Mr. White, you've brought your ex-wife to court today because you believe she mysteriously had your parental rights revoked for a girl you believe was your biological daughter, thus allowing another man to adopt her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test and say once the results prove that you are indeed Miss Tasha Mock's biological father, you would like her mother to pay you $5,000 for fraud resulting in emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, you claim the only reason your daughter was adopted by another man is because you don't believe Mr. White is actually her biological father. In fact, you're adamant that you don't owe him a single dollar, and it's your hope that when today's test results are revealed, Mr. White will leave you and your daughter alone for good.
Yes.
So, Mr. White, obviously you feel you've been lied to. Please explain to the court why.
Your Honor, in the early 1980s, Julia and I were married, and she birthed me a son 10 months afterwards. A year later, she was pregnant with Tasha, and I ended up going to jail. She was 2 months pregnant when I went to jail. 7 months after I went to jail, she gave birth to Tasha. At that time, she must have believed I was the father because she put my name on the birth certificate. I was not able to do anything about it because I was incarcerated. 30 days after Tasha was born, she brought her to the jail, let me hold her the day Afterwards, I was shipped upstate for 10 years. Now, a couple years after that, Julia had filed and petitioned the court for divorce in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's allowed because I was incarcerated for a period exceeding 2 years. About a year after that, she petitioned the court to involuntarily terminate my parental rights to both my son and to Tasha. I acted as my own attorney because I had nothing but time, so I went to the law library and I taught myself law, and acting as my own attorney, I fought it in court and I won. And at that time, it was the opinion. It was the opinion of the judge at that time that Julia, or Miss Mock, had intentionally moved with the children on at least 3 different occasions, so all the letters and the cards that I had sent over the course of time to their grandparents' place never got to them.
And as a part of the judgment,
she was ordered to bring the children down to the prison to visit me. She was also ordered to collect calls from me as long as I used my prison wages and was able to cover at least half of the cost.
that was good lawyering.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Ma, what is the motive behind all of this?
I was trying to protect them.
So you were trying to protect your children because you didn't want them to have to go back and forth to jail to visit their father, or were you trying to protect Tasha because you didn't believe Mr. White was her father?
That was partial.
How did you manage to get another man to adopt your
was
daughter when he never relinquished his legal right?
The judge just signed the papers.
Tasha, I have to ask you, at what point did you just decide, I want to know the truth?
Well, when I was 26, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I put a lot of thought into it. I was blind and I couldn't walk, so I had nothing but time to sit and think about it. And then when I had turned 28, I got my vision back, and 29, I reached out to Mr. White on Facebook.
You did?
I did.
August 23rd. She had sent me a text out on Facebook that night. I have a copy of it here.
I'd like to see it, please.
She told me that she had been born to Tasha Renee White. She wanted to know if I was her father. She was trying to find the things out. We got on the phone. Within an hour or two, I was on the road to her house.
How did it feel when you first saw her?
I don't know the words to express it because there was such a warmth and a flood that come over me when I got to wrap my arms around her. It was like nothing in the world mattered at that point. You know, it's a 30-year battle is over. I finally won. That's how I felt.
Do you know where or how you can find the other possible father, the other gentleman?
I swear to God, Almighty God up above, I don't know where he is, and I don't want to know.
So you're not hoping this other man is the father either?
No.
You're just hoping that when we leave this
prove
courtroom
that
today
he is not the father,
you
that
don't
it's
want
all
her to
done.
know who her father is.
She has a father. He adopted her.
Do you understand the need, the desire,
Yes.
the longing in her to know who her biological father is?
Yes.
And as her mother, is there a part of you that wants to provide, to fulfill that need?
Yes.
That's a natural mother's instinct.
Yes, I do. I only want my daughter to be happy because of her illness. I don't know how long she's going to be on this earth. I want her to know that everything that she wants, I will do in my power to make sure she has.
So if in
And
fact
that's
Mr.
why I'm
White is
here.
not the biological father, you would help her find the other gentleman?
No.
I will.
No.
I made a promise to her the day that she reached out to me. I'll do everything I can to help her find the truth.
But, Ms. Mock, do you hear what you're saying?
Yes.
In the case of White versus Mock, pertaining to 30-year-old Ms. Tasha Mock, it has been determined by this court, Mr. White, you are not the father.
Sorry, baby. I'll still help you.
Are you okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. White, are you all right?
Yes, Your Honor, I will be.
I know it's not the news you wanted. You say that you will help her find her biological father if she asks for that help. And I hope you live up to that, Mr. White.
I most certainly will, Your Honor. I told this young lady when she first stepped into my life, I'd help her find the truth. So whether she's mine by blood or not, she's still mine by spirit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ms. Mock, what I encourage you today, though, is to think about the pain that you felt feeling abandoned by the men you've loved. Do not pass those feelings down to your daughter. Ms. Alston, you've come to court to prove to the defendant, Mr. Holmes, whom you first met at the age of 15, that you are his biological daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Holmes, you say there's no way she's your child, and today the DNA will prove your case. You say her biological father is David Alston, the man who is on her birth certificate and paid child support for her. So, Ms. Alston, tell us how you first found out the defendant might be your father.
Well, Mr. Alston and my mom were married. So as a child, it all started there. I grew up in a home with my mom, with my 7 siblings. So one summer I was going outside to play, and my mom was outside talking to a guy. And when I walked up, he was like, tell her. And she looked at me and said, this is your uncle. This is your dad's brother. So I proceeded to meet the family, which is my younger brother, my grandmother, aunts and uncles, and they embraced me like if they knew me from day one. So I have always assumed that Mr. Alston was my dad because his name was on my birth certificate. But at 15, she told me that Mr. Holmes can be my dad. He's always been a father figure to me from day one, even with the doubt.
Mr. Holmes, you don't believe she's your biological child?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Why? Explain to the court.
Because Miss Alston's mother, back in the day, she was like fast. And because I met her at the school bus stop. She was in high school. And 2 days later, after I met her, I had sex with her. I called her again a couple days later, asked her to come back, and we had sex again. So it was kind of like a booty call. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about her until 15 years later. So I kind of felt that she wasn't mine because I didn't even know that she existed until that time.
Did you know she was married?
No.
And how were you made aware?
By my mother.
Did you immediately think this may not be my child, or were you just accepting of the news because she says your family was accepting of her?
I accepted her because I know how it feels to not have a father. But I didn't really put my all into it because, like, the way I met her mother and the lifestyle that I was already living.
All right. And so, Ms. Alston.
Yes.
When you finally did meet Mr. Holmes, what was that like?
It was wonderful. It was actually a good feeling for the kid in me because I've always wanted a dad. So it's actually great. I have abandonment issues from Mr. Alston, so it actually felt welcoming. It felt like I had a father who wants to love me for me. So it felt wonderful.
Ms. Alston, I have to ask you, do you have any inkling as to why your mother said one man was your father, then another man?
No, Your
Did
Honor,
she ever give you a reason?
She never did. She's never.
Did you ever ask her?
No, I never asked.
So you just...
When she told me and I met Miss Jenny, when they took me in as a family, I just ran with it because she said he was my dad.
Did you run with it because you had such a difficult relationship with Mr. Alston?
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
you just needed somewhere to run?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever had a doubt in your own mind since your mom told you that Mr. Holmes was your father?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You have?
Yes.
Even you've doubted?
Yes.
I think it's time we meet Mr. Alston. Jerome, will you please escort him in? This is the man on your birth certificate?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
And you tried to have a relationship with him?
Yes, I just wanted to be loved.
Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to have you explain to the court. She says she was told for the first 15 years of her life that you were her biological father, and then all of a sudden she was given another name. What do you know about this?
15 years ago? No. I just found out now.
So you're saying that up until recently, you still considered her your daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter. There's no way in the world I would not think that
Excuse me, Your
that's my
Honor.
daughter.
He calls me his daughter sitting here, but he's never been a dad to me. He's never been a dad. I don't recall no phone
But she
calls.
says she tried to have a relationship with you and you rejected her.
No,
Yes.
no. When I moved, no. What happened is when I moved away, when I got remarried, it seemed like all that. That's when the anger started coming through. But then when I get these phone calls, it's all about money, 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 money.
You living your life and you have no clue that
No
she's
clue.
been told somebody else is her biological
No clue.
father.
No
And
clue.
that she's gone through all this and established ties with another family. You have no clue.
No clue. But calling me a year ago, 2 years ago, asking me, Daddy, can I have this? Daddy, can I have that? Daddy, can you pay my bill?
Did you let me move in? Did you help me find a roof?
There's no
At
way I
that
could
time,
do
I was a parent myself, so I was not. I did not.
For
help you.
15 years, you thought that was man's your father. Why you asked me in 2010 and you say that was your father?
Well, that's a good question.
15
Ms.
years
Alston.
ago.
And at that time, like I said, I was still trying to build a relationship with him because I'm very doubtful that Mr. Holmes is my father.
You doubtful now. You said a few minutes ago that he's your father.
And so if you did not believe Mr. Alston was your biological father, you were told he wasn't, and you said you don't care for him. You don't care for him because you feel like he rejected you when you
He
needed
abandoned
help.
me, yes.
Wow, this is confusing. As it pertains to 31-year-old Donna Alston, and whether Mr. Holmes or Mr. Alston is her biological father, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Holmes, you are not Miss Alston's father. Mr. Alston, you are not Miss Alston's
Get
father.
Why she do that?
Lord have mercy.
You still my grandbaby.
Oh, my God.
Sit her down, man.
Oh, my God.
Sit down, Miss. Oh,
Oh, my God.
I'm so sorry, Miss Alston.
But you still got us, don't you?
That's the mother fault.
Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Damn.
This entire courtroom is in shock. Are you all right, Mr. Alston? You truly believe that was your biological child?
Sign the birth certificate.
Obviously, there was another person. Have you ever received any other information that it could be anybody else? Whatever relationship or non-relationship you had with Mr. Alston, I could feel his reaction. He thought he was your biological father your entire life.
Can I give you a hug?
Oh, that's nice.
I'm sorry.